I'm doing a giveaway. Stick around to the end of the video to find out how you can enter to win. What is up, everybody? I'm NoLuxGiven, and today I wanted to take a look at an old game of Storybook Brawl 99 that I never actually showcased to you guys, and I thought now would be a good time to do so. This game does take place on the previous patch, but most of the stuff is the same. Obviously, Fate's got a slight nerf, and there's no Princess P to contend with in this game, but I think that actually makes it more impressive because Princess P is really powerful in the Slay comp, and that's what I'm going to try to put together in this game. I kind of had a little bit of a idea, I don't quite want to call it an obsession, but I've really wanted to make Slay work in a Storybook Brawl 99 lobby. Most of these lobbies are occupied by hat-ball strategies, people playing a bunch of mages, and that's all fine and dandy, but I've always had this idea that if you get ahead early with Slay, Storybook Brawl has a lot of players that you get to beat up on and scale against, and for that reason, Slay might actually be a pretty good strategy in the format. And with Storybook Brawl 99 returning next Monday, I figured maybe this would be a good time to take a look at this video and see my attempt to use this strategy, because Slay is even better now that Princess P is in the game, and I already thought there was something really cool about Slay, that it could potentially win a lobby given the right set of circumstances, and we are going to see those circumstances develop in this one. Really interesting game as well, because we have the opportunity to pick up a blind mouse this turn, and then next turn we'll be able to start picking up some crafties, but for right now we are just locking those into the shop. And for Slay, Horn of Olympus is really good, however I don't believe that I go for it here. I mean, it's fine with, oh I do, wow, no, there's no way. It would have been better if the bossy was a fanny. I think that's what I'm saying. But the fact that the bossy is not a fanny means that I just go for the current tempo on the board and pick up the Moonsong Horn. That really surprised me if I had picked up a Moonsong Horn, because I guess I'll spoil a little bit. I don't have one by the end of the game and would love one, but am not going to be so lucky. So here, interestingly, we can pick up a crafty, or we can just lock the shop again, and the math will work out very well for us next turn. We'll have 7 gold, which if we sell one of our units, that's enough to buy 4 crafties. And you can still do this in Storybook Brawl as it currently sits. It's just a little bit harder to do so because you see less units in each of your shops. But this strategy can definitely still work if you want to do a little bit of cheese with the fates. And one of the things that works really well for us here is that Crafty just works so well with treasures, and that we were able to find a bonus one off of that blind mouse. So not something that I was deliberately forcing, but I'm gonna read the room when it comes to stuff like that, and it looked like this was going to be a good strategy for this one. So we're off to a pretty good start here. 37 health, we're slaying with Vampire already, and now we are going to pick up some treasures on this turn. And Bounty Board is a really good Tier 2 treasure, and that's part of the reason that we wind up going into Slay. Picking up a bounty board on 3.2 is a great time to pick it up. Small note here, you candy rain before you triple the second crafty. That way that crafty is going to get 2 candy rains on it, rather than an upgraded unit which just receives 1 candy rain. So I probably want to pick up a treasure of some capacity because I do have these crafties, and Ring of Meteors, really good with dwarves. Fairy Tale, good with like anything else. But because we already have that bounty board, I'm gonna go for Dragon's Nest, and I do think that this is the right call here. Basically, Dragons are really good at slaying, both Lightning Dragon and Feasting Dragon, so giving them +5/+5 and getting a bunch of bonus gold from it is going to give us really the means to start steamrolling this lobby. We're already very big, don't get me wrong, with this pair of crafties here. We are looking quite good, but now we are going to try to pick up some dragons and scale this in a different way. I also like the end, picking up some XP. I could see not doing that here as well because level 4 is where be dragons. So I could just want to take my time rolling around here. And Greedy is also a really interesting pickup because we've got Bossy and then we also have the Baby Root. So Greedy would be reasonably big. I don't think it would be a horrible idea to go for that there, but I roll because if we find a Riverwish Mermaid, that is a really, really good pickup. As well, we could find Feasting Dragon or Lightning Dragon, and I'm not as concerned with the gold from Greedy when I could just get gold from Bounty Board this game, and that is going to be a much higher income source. So now we are supporting both of these crafties with the Riverwish Mermaid, and they're huge. So we're going to start slaying, and that'll just give us bonus gold to walk the rest of the lobby with. 2 bonus gold, actually 3 from this turn. The Vampire Slate, I wasn't expecting that, as you could see by my cursor movements there, but pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. So at this point now we are just rolling for dragons. We'll pick up a health potion because that's free, and we'll also pick up a golden chicken just to hang on to that for a moment. But we do wind up finding ourselves in the possession of a lightning dragon, so that's really good. And then here I'm looking to move Vampire to the back row potentially because I do think that it will be just safer in the back, and I think it actually has a decent chance to slay if we back row it, and then we are getting just some more free bonus gold. I'll roll down not finding another dragon for the rest of the turn, but you know what? One lightning dragon at a 16/7 is still a pretty good rate, and we'll potentially roll for some more stuff next turn. I'm not super inclined to pick up XP here. We're already 1 XP up on the rest of the lobby, and at this point, I'm pretty firmly in wanting to play Slay. And when you play Slay, it's more important to start scaling as soon as possible, especially in something like Storybook Brawl 99, where your opponents by the end of the game are going to be super, super powerful, and you'll definitely want access to that Slay. Again, we're going to have a bunch of bonus gold this turn. The Lightning Dragon even stuck around, so that is going to give even more bonus gold. And there I'm debating, like, do I pick up another crafty? Because we are doing so well with those. But we're going to roll again, find ourselves with a Feasting Dragon, which is great, and now we are looking for Baba Yaga. So one of the reasons that I didn't pick up the XP was because, like I said, I want to get bigger right now. But the other thing is, most of the scaling Slay units that you want, because you could get Jormungand, though Jormungand isn't really a scaling unit as much as Feasting Dragon, Lightning Dragon, and Lancelot are. And because all of those units are level 4 and 5, it can be okay to rush and hit level 5, but once you're there, that is when you really just want to roll for units rather than roll for XP when you are playing this comp. So we're looking pretty good here now. We've got a pair of mermaids and a pair of feasting dragons, plus a lightning dragon that is even going to survive its initial combat, and both of my feasting dragons are also going to slay. So those feasting dragons are doing double duty on the bounty board, as well the lightning dragon's also doing double duty. So I think we have 6 bonus gold this turn, and yeah, we're doing pretty well for ourselves. We can pick up a Lancelot here and give it plus 10 attack, which means that if we find a Baba Yaga this turn, Lancelot will be activated. So I feel like that is worth going for. We will have to find the Baba Yaga, or we could find a Sporko. That is worth it as well. And then we find Krampus' Slay. And I told you guys this was going to be a Slay video. I was always curious if Slay could work in Storybook Brawl 99, but of course I didn't mean this Slay. We are still going to pick it up. I think that it will be good. It is tempting to skip the treasure because it is so good this turn to get Lancelot activated. So I do think about skipping the treasure and just looking for any means to pump up Lancelot this turn, but I realize that if we get Lancelot to slay in the Riverwash Mermaid double supported slot, then it will actually get +4 attack if it sticks around. Seems like a big ask to me. It's not actually going to work out well for us, and all of our units are basically going to get destroyed on this combat, so we are going to take a little bit of damage, but hey, we were at 41. We could afford to take a little bit of damage there. Not too big of a deal. What is a little bit annoying, though, is now Lancelot is a whole bunch of attack behind, so that is going to take some work to get him off the ground. I am still potentially looking for some ways to pump him up, but I'm not going to go all in just for that. We'll see what we can do. You know, we don't have to do anything crazy here. We do pick up a lightning dragon, and that is pretty crazy. And then we see another lightning dragon, and we can sell off a golden chicken and probably the blind mouse or vampire for that. It's all the same. We'll pick up the dragon there, and then we can go Sky Castle and immediately combine these River Wish mermaids. And at this point, I think my dragons are big enough that I don't really need the dragon's nest. Now, because there's not too much time on the clock, at this point, I'm actually just going to hang on to the Sky Castle. Next turn, I'll start the turn by combining the Sky Castle, and that'll get me an additional tier 4 treasure from that, which I can skip or do whatever I want with. But we're going to get a bunch of additional slays from these Riverwash mermaids here, and we are also going to get our Krampus's sleigh as well, one additional sleigh, and we are stealing a treasure from my opponent here too. So this is the tier 4 treasure from the River Wish mermaids. Just going to go ahead and skip that. And then I'm going to take Cursed Throne. I felt like Cursed Throne with the dragons, I'm sorry, yeah, it was just a little bit of a bug there, so I got a little bit confused. But Cursed Throne with all of the sleigh synergies that we got going on could actually work if we start to scale this Lancelot. But like I said, Slay works once you have got it going, but you got to get it going somewhere to start. And this Lancelot is definitely falling a little bit behind on the rest of the lobby. So what I am effectively trying to do now is find Horn of Olympus from combining these River Wish mermaids. I wasn't able to find that. This was like a really busy turn, and then we also hit 6. So apologies, commentary here feels a little bit scattered, but we are going to continue to dig for that horn and fail to find it. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in a Hercules at the last second. And this is a pre-buff Hercules, but still pretty good here. Our Lightning Dragon is going to slay twice, Feasting Dragon not going to slay at all, but my board is pretty big. And then River Wish Mermaid actually gets to slay twice, which activates the bounty board even further. So kind of silly, was not expecting that to happen, to grab some additional econ from the River Wish Mermaid, but it's actually kind of big because of the Feasting Dragon pumping it up on the River Wish mermaids that I've been purchasing in the shop. I'm going to try to put Lancelot in. That is why I took the Cursed Throne. I thought that, okay, well, if we give an additional slay to Lancelot, all of that starts to look really, really good. Then I find Jormungand, and then I even find another Baba Yaga, which is great, and I'm going to go ahead and fire off a Spinning Gold this turn. I think that we are powerful enough. We also dreamed into Merlin last turn, so casting that Spinning Gold gives something a little bit extra stats. You could try to make the Lancelot work here, and I do. I can get it up to 17 attack. I'm just not sure if that's good enough. And we could also just use these Baba Yagas to be supporting the Feasting Dragon, which just seems like it's better. So unfortunately, I'm going to give up on the Lancelot at this point in the game, which basically means that I'm also giving up on the Cursed Throne, but at least for now, it is scaling our Hercules, which is making our Jormungands bigger in this fight. So that's nice for now, but unfortunately, we're going to take 15 damage down to 18. Top 30 in the lobby, though, and with 18 health, still feeling pretty good about my chances. I decided to put Lancelot in just to see how far away we are from activating it. And we're so close from a Queen's Grace being enough to activate it, but we would have been one off. Merlin's test would have been enough if it slays. But again, I just think it is too little too late. I'm going to fire off another Dream spell here. And I think that Morgan could be good and is probably the pickup, but I get a little bit distracted by this Celestial Tiger. It gives us double bounty board, which is kind of cool. That'll give us a ton of cash for next turn, and maybe that could be sweet. I don't know. I am debating cutting one of these royals to play a second Jormungand here, and it's a really tough call because I want to get Lancelot online, but it's just so weak. So I'm not really sure how to do it. If we can get it online, it's really fantastic because we have got a doubled up Curse Throne thanks to Celestial Tiger, and we might have a shot here, but unfortunately it's just too small and isn't able to find the 1 and 3 to slay up against my opponent's Spellweaver. So there you go. Sometimes slay is not going to be strong enough in your like against certain opponents or things. We just didn't have time to scale the Lancelot. You could see how this game would have been massively different had we had the opportunity to scale the Lancelot, but the important thing here is that we had 30 gold to work with this turn. So Lancelot be damned. We're going to go all in on the Dragon's Plan and pick up another Jormungand. That is going to give us a tier 6 treasure. Phoenix Feather, pretty good, but Ivory Owl, okay, just hear me out. If we take this Ivory Owl, that is going to put Lancelot up to 19, which means now all it needs is a Queen's Grace, and it could actually get there and start to slay and start to seem relevant. We'll also pick up a Baba Yaga, which is going to let us see another tier 5 treasure, and I do like Staff of the Old Toad, and then I just decide to abandon the Ivory Owl and yeah, just totally go away from that. I'll lock onto another River Wish Mermaid, and if Lancelot can slay here, it will become active, and looks like it's a 50-50. No, it's actually a 75%er. So Lancelot gets to slay, gets to activate. It might still be too small to actually do something reasonable in the lobbies, but we'll see. Jormungand should be able to clean up everything here because my opponent doesn't have a Medusa or a Rotten Applewood. And Jormungand is just a large unit, so we are going to win that combat, and we still had bounty board that turn, so we get to do a bunch there. Oh, Lancelot didn't actually activate because it died in the combat. So that's really awkward, but we do have a bunch of gold here despite not having the, what did we lose? The Sky Castle. So it's going to be a little bit tough to combine these River Witch Mermaids this turn, but we could do it with Evil Twin. It's not the craziest idea in the world. We could also hit the Lancelot there. I'm going to go for the Evil Twin. The Horn of Olympus is just so good in this comp, so that's basically all that I'm looking for here. I don't really think that I need another Baba Yaga, but maybe I'll take it just because we don't have these Horn of Olympus synergies going on, and I'm hoping now that Lancelot will be big enough with this buffed up Baba Yaga that we can put it in the second position, still have it slay, start to scale it in some capacity there, and do some other fun stuff. I'm going to pick up a Baba Yaga and lock onto a third one before the end of the turn, and this is looking okay, but unfortunately Hercules hits the good boy, so Lance is not going to slay. It is already, though, going to activate. So that part's nice. And then Jormungand is pretty big, not quite big enough. We are going to wind up taking a little bit more damage. We take 8 damage down to 10, but that is good that we're so strong in the early game that this part of the game doesn't really matter as much. And then I pick up an Evil Eye and a Mimic Chest on the same turn. Pretty insane stuff. I'm just going to hope that I don't need more gold at this point in the game, and hope that we can do something with the Cursed Throne and Celestial Tiger. It seems good with the Hercules even, because the Hercules, despite not having the River Wish Mermaid on it, is getting that slay from the Cursed Throne, so then we can support our royals with the Baba Yagas, and they'll be able to do some crazy stuff. I'm tempted to dream here and no longer be a Celestial Tiger, but mostly I just didn't think it was worth my spell for the turn. So going to wind up just continuing to roll. If we could have found like a knighthood or something, we could have cast that on our second Jormungand, but I'm also pretty interested in just rolling for Riverwish Mermaids and trying to find this Horn of Olympus. And that's why I knew I didn't pick it up early on in the game, because I was pretty sure that I was hunting for it for a while towards the end of the game. Jormungand is going to slay after Lightning Dragon slays. Unfortunately, Lancelot was targeted pretty hard there, but these Jormungands are definitely going to be enough to clean up my opponent there, and even Riverwish Mermaid gets in on the action a little bit and gets her slay on. So that is going to be enough to take out the Fates and potentially bring us into the top 10 of this 99 lobby. Yeah, there are 8 players remaining, so pretty good stuff here. And while I don't think that my Lancelot is as big as it should be right now, my Lightning Dragon is still massive, and we could still find Horn of Olympus. I'm just eyeing up a world where maybe I want to take another Baba Yaga here, but the problem is then my Lightning Dragon is not slaying at all. So you do need at least one Riverwish Mermaid to make the Lightning Dragon slay. We'll see what else we can do. I'm going to end this turn off by casting a Ride of the Valkyrie. Pardon my phone ringing in the background there, but we are too deep into this video. I'm not going to pause and go turn that off. You might not be able to hear it over the music, but we're looking pretty good. And in top 10, it seems like Slay is in contention to win a Storybook Brawl 99 lobby. If we get first attack here too, which unfortunately we do not, but Lancelot could have slayed. It could still slay against these good boys. No, it's not going to have quite enough attack, but the Lightning Dragon attack to start things off was pretty good for us because that dealt with some of my opponent's backline. We are still dealing with a Mimic Chest mirror good boy comp here though. So this is going to be a tough one to take out. We do have an absolutely massive Jormungand, but my opponent with some massive ranged units is just going to be too much for us. So we'll take 8 down to 2, and I'm lucky, I'm happy just to be alive. And at this point, I'm kind of thinking, do I even want this Lancelot? What is this Lance doing for me? Not too much. It really wasn't good. It would have been better had we just not had the Lancelot on the last combat. So I do think about selling it, getting rid of it in some capacity. I'm just going to wind up pigomorphing as my spell for the turn, and then from here, I could see picking up Golden Chicken and locking onto a Drink Me potion. I think that that is pretty good. Once you get into this top 10 portion of Storybook Brawl 99, it is basically all of these combats could be your final combat. So it's important to just be as strong as possible, and finding a combat related spell is definitely a way to do that. We did see that there is another Pan Shadow in this lobby that is very, very strong. Again, if Lance could get the first attack, it could have slayed, but we just get very, very unlucky with a few of these things here. My opponent with a Horn, we were able to take out some of their supports with our Lightning Dragon, and then they didn't have mirror Mimic Chest. So Jormungands are actually going to be able to clean this one up, and we do get a kill against them, and now we're in the top 4. So we've got a Pan Shadow. We just played up against that Sad Drac. That was the mirror Mimic Chest. This could work. We don't see anything worth going for on the Drink Me potion, and then we see another opportunity to Knighthood my Jormungand. I would have to sell my Riverwish Mermaids, and basically where I'm at, I think that the only thing worth doing in this game is casting, is casting spells and finding 4-cost units for my Riverwish Mermaid to potentially find Horn of Olympus. Then I actually think of a better idea. This Medusa is big enough for my earlier feasting dragons that it can slay, and that is going to just be better than Lancelot, which has attacked every combat and been unable to slay. Medusa also pretty good against the good boy comps that we know are in this lobby, so having to pivot is a little bit annoying away from the Lancelot. Make use of the Mimic Chest, Curse Throne, Celestial Tiger. It would have been a bunch of slays, but unfortunately just wasn't worth it. Medusa actually doesn't slay against the statue there, which is a little bit awkward, but the Jormungands are still massive. When you are playing Slay and you are up against a summons comp, you always got to feel pretty good, especially when your opponent only has like the one medium Echo Wood going on. We can definitely clean this one up. Oh, and it was Duke Silver. Go ahead and check out their channel as well. But we are going to pick up a River Wish Mermaid here and not find Horn of Olympus yet again. Pretty annoying. I kind of want to Evil Twin the Mermaid and just try it again, but I think that would be a waste of gold. My main opponent here that I'm concerned with is the Sad Drac. So I think that I'm probably going to beat this Pan Shadow. I do notice that I believe that they tied, and what I actually tried to do there was not purchase the spinning gold. I bought it and then I was like, never mind. And I tried to put it back and I accidentally cast it. It doesn't matter. We got to win at this point. I guess we could tie, but I am going to lock onto another Jormungand here, and the reason for that is we are not really using Cursed Throne. We're just straight up not using Cursed Throne at all. Technically, my River Wish Mermaid in the back can slay, but that's not really what we are playing for, and looks like Slay can actually do pretty good in these Storybook Brawl 99 lobbies because there are 2 Slay comps in the top 3. Unfortunately, we are going to deal some damages to the Pan Shadow here, but if we can upgrade the Jormungand, grab a tier 6 treasure, then we'll have Mimic Chest plus whatever that tier 6 treasure is. Probably Phoenix Feather is what we want. That could be really good for us. Hermes Magic Beans are also going to be pretty good for us because those will allow our Medusa to attack first, and that's pretty good. You'll see I did stop at the Knighthood to pay attention to that. I do want an upgraded Jormungand, but I want to get rid of this Cursed Throne that is doing absolutely nothing. Probably also want to not be Celestial Tiger at some point, but you know, what can you do? We are actually going to 50-50 our first attack, come to think of it, because the good boy player is a Sad Drac good boy player. So I might have skipped over that in a previous combat and said, oh, if we get the first attack here, not realizing that it was a Sad Dracula, but now we're 50-50 to get it. So it is definitely possible, and I do believe that we do. No, okay, we get the Lightning Dragon attack, and then we do get the Medusa attack, and it hits the upgraded good boy, which is really, really good for us. The rest of my opponent's stuff isn't really that impressive. So we could actually take them out here, and we're bigger than the other Slay comp. This is looking like we've got a legitimate shot to win this lobby right here, right now. And unfortunately, the only problem is that we don't deal enough damage to my opponent. So that is going to mean that they do wind up surviving with 6 health. We are going to play against the Ghost here now, and then we are going to face up probably against the Slay, because, or probably up against the Sad Drac comp is what I meant. So I'm going to pick up another Medusa. I think that is a good move just because they are a good boy strategy, but I'd still also like that horn. I think that could be good. And then I see a Pigomorph, and this is a really, really crucial part of the game, because this Pigomorph hitting a good boy could just win us the whole lobby. So what I'm going to do here, I don't want to cast the Pigomorph right now. I don't really want to waste all of my gold, but I think that Pigomorph is strong enough that it's just worth locking onto. I was thinking about, oh, I could sell off my Hercules and then pick up something else from the shop. It would have technically been correct to do so, but I was just trying to think about all of the possibilities that could happen here. Now that we are playing up against a Summons comp again, we are just going to be getting some additional scaling here. This should be no problem. They have found another Bear Stain. Maybe we scammed that Bear Stain last time with a Pigomorph or something, but Jormungand is going to easily be able to clean it up. So not a huge deal. And then we'll potentially be on to the finals. Except that the good boy comp does not kill the Slay comp. So we've locked onto this Pigomorph, and it's not even that good. Pigomorph is still good against Slay comps, but I really, really wanted it against the good boy comp. At the same time, I didn't feel comfortable enough just doing nothing and locking onto the Pigomorph for a whole nother turn. So I wind up casting it and then rolling down, and I do think that we will be able to beat this Slay opponent. We beat them last time. We could throw in Medusa or something, that's like fine against Slay, but even if they take out one of our Jormungand's, the big thing is we have Lightning Dragons, and I don't think that they did. I think that they were like Lancelot plus... I know they had Horn and Evil Eye, but I just don't think that they had Lightning Dragons, which is really, really good for us because now our Lightning Dragon can take out some of their backline to start the combat, and that makes my Jormungand's just bigger than my opponent's Lancelot. And then we're also going to Medusa their Lancelot, and then Lightning Dragon also takes out their Baba Yaga. So we are going to be able to get the win here. And we're going to move on to the finals. The only question is, are we going to be big enough to take out the Good Boy Mirror Mirror Mimic Chest, which is a really, really stellar endgame comp. And if we can find any spell right now, we are in a good position. My opponent does have first attack, which is a little bit scary, but we find a Drink Me potion, which unfortunately does not find anything. We could also put in this Medusa. We could also find another Medusa. Pick up a Horn of Olympus. That could be really good. I'm not sure though, do I want to play 2 Medusa or do I want to play 1 upgraded Medusa? And I decided to go for 1 upgraded Medusa, but unfortunately y'all, we do not find the Horn of Olympus. So we are not able to put together the Exodia Slay of it all. I roll one more time, and I might even roll one more time again, just looking for some Hermes magic beans. I think that we did a really, really good job. Yeah, I don't sell the Jormungand. I'm hoping maybe we can tie them again. My opponent Pigomorphs my bigger Jormungand, which is a little bit annoying. We take out their backline unit, and then they're going to attack with Good Boy, and we're going to statue it. So we have a real shot here, but the Good Boy Mimic Chest is unfortunately actually just going to wind up being too much for our 1 Jormungand to deal with. My opponent has a single Echo Wood that is able to walk the table against my backline. A really close combat. Storybook Brawl tracker even thinks it was close enough that they thought I was going to win that one. But yeah, really close. And honestly, I would say after this game that yes, a Slay comp can win a lobby of Storybook Brawl 99. If we got just a little bit luckier and had found the Horn on any of those tier 4 treasure completions, then Medusa would have slayed a whole bunch more times. Even if we had one of our Jormungands Pigomorphed, the other Jormungand would have just been absolutely massive, and it wouldn't have mattered that my opponent had gotten all of those Good Boys and Mirror Mirrors and Mimic Chests and was doing all of that crazy stuff. So I definitely think this comp is a contender, and even more so, of course, now that Princess P is in the mix and adding to all of the craziness that you can do with this comp. That is going to be it for me today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm No Lux Given. Peace. This week's giveaway word is royal. Each week I use a new code word. That's just to distinguish who's commenting for which week. And the reason I have you guys say a code word, that way I can tell who is interested in the dust and who's just commenting to say hi or that they enjoyed the video, stuff like that. You can definitely do both. Just make sure you include this week's code word. You can also enter as many times as you want per week, once per video. You can go back, leave comments on old videos, just make sure they include this week's word, but there's no limit to how many times you can enter, other than, I guess, the amount of videos that I have. And I've been putting out a bunch of Storybook Brawl videos since last October, so yeah, there are a bunch of opportunities to enter to win. You can go through the backlog and watch some of those, but it's been really fun to receive the comments from you guys, get that level of interaction. You can also come join me on my Discord, which I'm trying to grow right now, just so that I have feedback on my titles and thumbnails and things like that, but I also have some fun ideas for special game modes that I could make work with lobbies of players in the future. So feel free to check that out as well. There is a link to that in the video description, and help me climb on my way to 1,000 subscribers. I'm getting there slowly but surely, and thank you guys all very much for your support.